purpose. So without further ado, I would like us to make a grand welcome to Mr. Arome Ibrahim as he takes us through some of his findings. Thank you so much for joining the call, sir.
Thank you so much, Trust. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing great. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be a part of this. My name is Arome Ibrahim. I am currently based in Abuja, Nigeria. And I know Trust did a lot of things about me, but I'm still my humble self. I love tech, I love innovation, and I love making impact. So in the next 20 minutes, I want to seek your permission to share a bit on the topic. So permit me to share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, cool. Great. So like I mentioned earlier, hello everyone. My name is Arome Ibrahim. I love tech, I love innovation, and I love to empower people basically. And the topic I'll be sharing on today is the innovation illusion, skills acquisition without purpose. When Trust shared the topic, I was like, wow, this is a deep one, right? But I'll try my best to share my experiences, share my journey, and I hope this inspires you all to be amazing innovators. So this is the agenda, the brief agenda for my session. I'll be sharing a bit about myself, a bit about the concept, which is the innovation illusion, and how does it manifest, right? So when to take notice of that, and some insights from amazing thought leaders that have more or less overcome that, and also best advice for emerging tech talents on this call. And I'll now share a bit about my initiative called Immersive Tech Africa. So this is me. Like Trust said, I'm a business analyst. I'm passionate about innovation, especially emerging tech, such as virtual reality, augmented reality, and the metaverse. I'm also passionate about social and business impact. So how can we use this technology for social good and to make the most for businesses? I launched my initiative called Immersive Tech Africa in 2020. And since then, we're on a mission to train close to 10,000 creators here in Africa to build with emerging tech and also artificial intelligence. So this is me here in 2019. This was the first time I was trying out VR for the first time, right? For most of you that have tried it out, an amazing technology. It was more or less like love at first sight. And since then, that's been an amazing journey. Been able to build a company around it, and now supporting to train people on how to use the technology. So we're moving on to the concept. So what is innovation illusion, right? So most of the guys on this call, I can bet, knows what innovation is, right? But the illusion of it is what we don't have that good understanding of. So basically, illusion can be multidimensional, right? You can be seeing something at the same time and you're seeing another thing. You could have a version of somebody and behind them, they're a different person, right? So that's basically illusion. But as relation to innovation, it's a different concept entirely. So moving in from research, innovation illusion describes a scenario where an individual or an organization directly acquires new skills. So you have the skills, you have the talents, and you're not really putting in the best, or you're not giving the best out of those skills and talents that you have. And more or less not achieving your impact and your purpose, right? So you're an amazing developer, you're building projects on the sides, but you feel like it's not enough. You feel like you are not making the mark on the world as much as possible. And you also have that disconnect because you don't know what to do part time, right? And even though you are doing it, you're not finding that fulfillment in it. So you're basically in an illusion where you have the skills and talents, but you're not making that impact as much as possible. So I'll be giving like more or less like a story-related scenario. For example, a developer called Bayo. So Bayo is an amazing talent. He has gone through a lot of boot camps and training programs and has learned multiple programming languages and complex systems. But Bayo has his skills and talents, but he doesn't have a clear goal, right? He has not used those skills and talent to address specific user needs. He has a lot of portfolio and projects, but he feels he has not done enough, right? And there's that misconnection or misdirection that Bayo is having at the moment. Like I said, he has the skills, but that purpose is missing. So what do you think Bayo might end up doing, right? So some very common scenario is he can develop an amazing tech for a problem that does not exist or for a problem that is not validated, right? He could build an AI tool to solve maybe something that people don't really have a problem to. And at the end, he will become very, very frustrated. He could take a lot of courses online, right? But still does not align to his long-term career aspirations. And he can also experience some form of unfulfillment despite the accomplishment. Trust me, it's possible, right? You might achieve a lot, but you feel that disconnect and lack of direction and purpose. And most time, he might feel like his time and effort and resources that he has invested in projects do not correspond to the objectives and societal requirements that align to that particular role or activities. So Bayo, sadly, is in an innovation illusion and he has the skills, but he's innovating without purpose, basically. So moving on to the second chapter, I'll be looking at how innovation illusion manifests so you can understand and pick up those key concepts and know that if you're in that space, this is it and this is how to get out of it. So the first key scenario is an amazing coder with no product, right? So you know all the languages in the world. You know all the languages, basically the programming languages in the world, but you do not have a single product. And I noticed that between developers is they may be good, but they cannot sit down and collaborate with other people to build something amazing. And most times they are just on their own. They're on an island, they have it, but they're not making the impact. And most time you notice for those that are making the most impact, they don't have that much skills, they don't have that much experience, but they believe in themselves, they believe they can change the world, and they start small, right? So no matter what, start small. It could be launching your first social media post or building your first website using Wix. As long as you have started, it's good, right? But if you have that skill set and experience and you have not shipped anything, trust me, you're in an illusion and you need to get out of it as much as possible. And my advice is to try and develop products and services that people need, like people need the most, right? And addresses societal needs and can make that most impact. The second one is the shiny new tech trap, right? Everybody shouting AI here, AI there, but are people really building with it? Are people really innovating with it? And most times you see companies and organizations really want to jump on the AI trend, right? It's not everybody that needs to jump on it. Most times your product doesn't need AI at this moment. What your product needs is just sales, conversion, and making sure you're making money in the bank. But if you really want to ship with a new tech that you know that does not really help your product, you might just end up burning cash in subscriptions and server costs, right? So it's very important that even though a new tech is here, it's good to understand how it works, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to ship with it at that moment. So if you have a team, you have people that you're mentoring, try as much as possible to advise them to shy away from jumping on new innovation that does not really align with their purpose or their direction. So moving on to the third chapter, we're talking on insights from thought leaders. This was very fun when I was creating it because I was able to learn some very nice insights from these amazing leaders in their spaces. The first one is everybody knows him, right? Simon Sinek. He's an amazing guy. He's a very prolific speaker as regards finding your why, right? As individuals, it's important we know why we're doing stuff, right? For whom we're doing it for, and what is the purpose of that activity. So he shared a quote that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, right? And what you do simply proves what you believe. So when I started off my journey in VR and AR, I did not really have that skill set, right? But I took our time to build that, and we were able to buy our very first VR headset, right? So when we reached out to clients, they did not bother to consider if
Flip.
the new,
AR.
sorry,
What is AR and VR?
I would share that later on.
Thank you. Because some of us actually need to some of our listeners are saying.
Yeah, I will, don't worry. When I get to the last part, I will share more details on that. So he said, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, and what you do simply proves what you believe, right? So it's very important to know what you do, know the direction you're going. And he also said your skills are what you do, your purpose is why you do it. So have that purpose, and your skills will just take you to the next level. The second thought leader is Peter Drucker, an amazing businessman and entrepreneur. He said the most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. Very key, right? So most people say a lot, right? But it's the tiny details in their conversations that are not really heard or really seen. So as an innovator, right? So even when people are giving you feedback, try and get the feedback that are not really said or pronounced, right, in their conversation. And you also said innovation often comes from addressing unarticulated needs and not just applying existing skills. So like I said, when you're engaging potential users and clients, try and understand the needs behind those problems and challenges, and you be able to build an amazing product that they will keep on using time to time. So for Clayton, he said innovation is not just about inventing new things, right? Everybody wants to build something new, but it's about solving real problems. I read yesterday when the story of how Opay came into Nigeria, right? So when they came, for you to transfer cash can take 2 days, 3 days because banking issues. But they disrupted that space, and you can send money in seconds, and the receiver will get it. Okay, so they did not come to reinvent the wheel, but to solve the real problem on the delays when making cash transfers. And he also said successful innovation stems from understanding customers' jobs to be done, right? So what is the problem you're addressing? And then you find that clear purpose behind that problem. And the king of marketing, online marketing, basically, Seth Godin, an amazing guy. He said, the market doesn't reward you for being busy. Everybody's busy, but it rewards you for being useful. So it's important that if you're in a team, if you're in an organization, be somebody useful, be somebody resourceful, and people would love to have you in their groups, in their activities, and you end up becoming somebody important and somebody that they cannot do without, right? So this directly challenges the idea that acquiring many skills automatically leads to success. It may or it may not, but usefulness in those skills, driven by purpose, is what's important for you to be an amazing innovator. So moving on to the fourth chapter, I'll be giving my advice for emerging tech talents on the call on how to escape or move from the innovation illusion. The first one is picking it up from this amazing theory. So starting with a why. For any conversation I'm having, for any problem I'm trying to solve, why am I doing that, right? Why do I want to do that? And what is the impact of that for not just me, but for my community and everyone around me, right? So even if you're trying to learn a new tech language, framework, or a new skill, right, you should understand why you are learning this, what problem do you want to solve with this, short term and long term, and also what impact do you want to make leveraging on that skill, right? So it's important to have a why, and that will be your guiding star to become somebody super amazing. The second advice is to focus on problems, not just solutions, right? Especially for tech innovators. Everybody wants to build product. Everybody wants to launch something, but are we really solving problems, right? So try and understand the pain points that your users are going through, and understand if you really need to build that product or not, right? So most people end up running cash, shipping products, and in a year or two, they're all packing up, right? And also, if you are building with AI, good, amazing, but what real problems are you solving with AI, and how can AI help you solve it, right? So you should consider that in every part of your solution or products that you're shipping. Third one is to cultivate self-awareness. It's important as individuals that we are self-aware and we reflect on our progress, our motivation, and our satisfactions. For me, I usually have like a quarterly review where I sit myself down, take like 2 to 3 days off and say, okay, hey, what have I done so far? What have I achieved so far? Where have I failed? How can I do better? And how can I be a better person, right? So am I really fulfilling my purpose? Am I really making a difference? Because you only have one life to live, right? So why not try as much as possible to make it super amazing and super good where possible. And lastly is to seek mentorship, very important, and you have options or the opportunity to get diverse perspectives. I'll share a bit of a story. So this is Jeremy Dalton. Jeremy is the former XR lead for PwC in the UK, like PwC, the top of consulting in the UK. And I think I was on a webinar like this. He had the opportunity to join and he saw what we were doing. And he reached out to me on LinkedIn, like somebody super high reaching out to me then, right? And since then, Jeremy has been my mentor, right? He has guided me, has supported our initiative. And imagine being mentored by one of the top voices in your industry, supporting you and supporting you along your journey. You know that you are making the right move and taking the right steps, right? So if you want to connect with anybody online, just send an email or send a LinkedIn request, right? If they're available, hopefully they will respond. But try as much as possible to be a person of value. Don't just, hey, come and mentor me. No, right? Make sure you are showing value, and with time, they'll be able to offer you insights and help you to refine your purpose. And I think this is where I think it's trust that was bumping in. I'll be sharing with you guys a couple of insights on what we're doing at Immersive Tech Africa, which is our nonprofit initiative, and breaking down what is VR, AR, and MR. Right? So I'll start with the key terminologies. So VR is a more or less like a virtual experience that you try out using the VR headset, just like what this guy is doing on the right here, right? So he has a VR headset, is experiencing content that look like it's real, but it's not, right? So the tech plays with your mind and tells you you are somewhere, and that's why you see most people, they are shouting, they are doing stuff that they are not used to because they are immersed in a virtual environment, right? So that's for VR. For AR, it's augmenting your reality. So you could project like a lion in your environment using your mobile phone, right? So that's augmented reality. And for mixed reality, it's like the combination of both virtual and augmented reality. And you experience it using your VR headset, and you can go to places you have never been before and explore the world virtually, right? So that's the summary of the terminologies. So a bit about our initiative. It's called Immersive Tech Africa. It was founded in 2020, and our goal is to increase access to emerging tech for youths on the African continent. And our two key focus are on extended reality and artificial intelligence. And we do that through education, training, and research. And we are building an inclusive community here in Africa. We are quite big. We have a very engaging community spread across Africa, and we are really growing. And we're seeing a very huge interest in youth that want to learn about this technology. So we have a program called the XR Innovation Launchpad, which is our yearly training program where we train close to 100 youth spread across Africa for 10 to 12 weeks, right? So they get the opportunity to learn how to build these experiences, right? They could use their mobile devices, they could use their laptops, and the impact has been amazing, right? From as little to 11 years old, right? We have had creators that have gone on to win awards and partake in hackathons because they were part of our Launchpad program. So these are pictures from our past editions and cohorts. This was our first cohort in 2021 at Ventures Park. If you know Ventures Park in Abuja, it was really amazing and interesting. And we had people building augmented reality experiences that day. And it was super fun. Our second cohort was held in Inspire here in Abuja, and we had a lot of people coming around, a lot of ladies, and it was good to see them trying out a new technology for the first time. For our third cohort, also very interesting and impactful, we had kids coming around. So parents were bringing their kids to come and learn how to build 3D models and 3D art sets. And it was really impactful and amazing to see that we are starting with a new tech quite early. We're contributing our voices to the development of the ecosystem. So these are our tech stack. These are some of the softwares we use to train and to build, from Unity to Unreal Engine to some of the experiences that power your content online, on TikTok, on Snapchat. We can do that, you can build with that. And it's super glad to see that people are really learning super, super fast. So to round up, I hope I was able to break down the concept of what innovation illusion is and how you can overcome it if you're in that space, and also how to innovate with purpose. It's very important to innovate with purpose because in the long run, you'll be asked, what have you achieved? What have you done? And what impact have you made leveraging on your expertise and your innovation? And I also want to share that the future is not just predicted, it is built. It's possible to do that. And also, let's not just acquire skills because we want to, but we should wield them with intentions, creating a future where everybody can benefit, both short term and long term, and always have purpose in whatever you're doing, and always innovate at a time. You can find me on LinkedIn at Arome Ibrahim, also on Instagram and at Arome Ibrahim. And thank you so much for listening. If you have any question, feel free to drop it in the chat, and I'll respond accordingly. Thank you so much.